Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to The Secret Life of Horror. My name is Danny. If you like what you're seeing today, please like this video and subscribe. As you may have seen in the past couple videos, my YouTube channel got hacked, and so unfortunately my algorithm and everything is all messed up. And so dropping a like and a subscribe would do me wonders right now. This is my only third actual video since then, and so bear with me. And so hopefully you guys actually get to see this video. But if you've seen my vlog, I had an amazing time at Houston Horror Film Festival this last weekend. It was really incredible getting to be a vendor, getting to see all of you guys, getting to share our movie with you, Blood Red Riverbed, but also just hanging out, getting to be a congoer. That's something I really have missed out on this year. And so it was really fun that Saturday, day 2, I really got to be just a congoer, walk around and buy stuff and explore, go to panels, and it was just so much fun. Especially the Tommy Lee Wallace, or the Halloween panel. That one was just incredible. I love Tommy Lee Wallace. That was a lot of fun. But I got some really cool stuff from the convention. I always love going to Texas conventions because they always have such amazing stuff. But this year did not disappoint, and I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right in, because as you can see, I'm wearing something that I picked up there from good friend T-Shirt Joe at Fast Custom Shirts. And so I got this Phantasm shirt. First thing that I got up on there. I love it. It looks really nice. It looks exactly like the real poster, because if you know T-Shirt Joey does almost like a different style, like a real black and white, or like just real basic colors sometimes, and that's a good style. And so you can see it like with the tall man and stuff, but really cool. I love this shirt, which I'm surprised it took so long for me to get a Phantasm shirt. This is the first one I've had, so really cool to have in the collection. Next up, I got a couple artworks. The first one I'll show you, I don't have on hand to roll it out for you, but I got this amazing poster, Freddy Krueger. I love it. It's just amazing art. I asked a guy about it that had it, and he said it's original art from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, The Dream Master. And he said it released during the 80s, and as you can tell, there's like, it looks really old, and I rolled it up to carry it on the plane and stuff, and yeah, it's just real crinkly, and it is very old, and so it's really cool to have that. Despite, even if it's not from the initial release, it's still at least antique or vintage. But so cool to have that. I love Freddy. And so check out, this is my plug real quick, check out my ranking video for my Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I personally put Part 4 in a pretty high spot. I like Part 4, I like Freddy in general, and so check out that video real quick. But anyways, next up, I have another horror icon. This is a little print, and I've been trying to get more artwork. I have a few prints, but maybe like 3 or 4. This From Beyond one is probably my favorite that I have. I love that artwork. But this is a really cool print I got. I forgot the name of the vendor, which I'm pretty sad about, but it is Leatherface. You know, when in Texas, you have to get Leatherface stuff. And this is amazing. This is just beautiful artwork of the Pretty Woman look in the movie. And I'm gonna put this in a frame, and this is probably gonna go in the living room. I think I'm gonna start putting my horror artwork in the living room on display like that. But really cool stuff. And so, next up, I have a whole bunch of movies. I am my mother's son. I do love to buy me some movies, and so I have a whole bunch. Especially went crazy Saturday, just because, like I said, I get to be a congoer. And so I just got a whole bunch of things that I liked. But first, before I jump into those, I do want to show you guys our movie real quick, Blood Red Riverbed, because we finally have the Blu-rays, and I haven't been able to show my channel at all, and I've been talking about Blood Red for a whole year now, and so here it is. The first official, first editions of our movie. This artwork was done by Joan Ming, and it was edited and revised and put together in this lovely package by Nate Wyckoff of Colton Classic Films. And so super dope to have distribution already in less than a year. Like my spew at the table went from concept to distribution in less than a year, made it for less than $5,000. It is the first and only Cherokee slasher film. And so this is pretty beautiful to have. It's a dream come true. I've always dreamed of having a movie that I had made, that me and my brother made on Blu-ray or DVD. And it's just incredible. It's hard not to be emotional about, because it's been a long time coming, and so it's just really cool to share with you guys. But anyways, I want to go ahead and dive into my VHS tapes first. I got only a couple of them, but I think it's a pretty good little selection, because they were kind of not expensive, but they're a little bit pricier than the DVDs and stuff they had there. But the first one up is one that I've been waiting to get for a while. I was gonna get it on DVD, but seeing it on tape, I couldn't pass it up. And that is Legend, starring Tom Cruise and Tim Curry, nonetheless. I've only seen this movie once. I can't really tell you too much about it just because of that, but it is something I need to rewatch. I know the devil is played by Tim Curry, which is very heavily influenced. Very, very popular movie, but I love fantasy, dark fantasy movies, and so I know I'm gonna love it again because I think it's been since I was like 14 or 15 when I last watched it, and so it's been a long time. It's been almost 10 years. I'm old. But anyways, next up is a movie, not dark fantasy, but kind of similar in style. One that my mom absolutely loved, that she put me onto, starring Julian Sands, and that is Warlock. I absolutely love Warlock. Rest in peace, Julian Sands. I really love magic movies. As you can probably tell, I love like Wiccan movies, witchcraft stuff that has to deal with dark magic, black magic, things of the sort. Only people that really know about the subject know the difference between all those. But I love Warlock. Really good. This is a 90s film. Yeah, 90s film, I believe. But there's not really too much to say about it, except that he's like a warlock that's in the past, or like from the olden days or something, and he comes into the modern day to like bring forth like the apocalypse, like the end of the world. You know, real typical like 90s. Very much like Calabar from Halloween Town, but it's a really good movie. Check it out if you haven't. I love Warlock, the whole series. There's 3 of them, I believe. Third one's iffy, but I know the first and second one are really phenomenal. But next up is one of my favorite movies of all time. It stems from my favorite movie of all time, the shirt that I'm wearing. And I was really happy to see this on VHS, and that is Phantasm 3, The Lord of the Dead. So I already have part 1 on VHS, and so this was a must grab when I seen it. I was looking for part 2 and I couldn't find it, but I'm happy with part 3. I love part 3. Part 3 is personally one of my favorite of the whole franchise. It's my brother's favorite of the franchise. He thinks it's the best, but it's very, very good film. 1993, yeah, very, very good. It's really cool because Mike comes back. The original Mike comes back into this one, and so I guess it's not really a spoiler, but Jodie's back. They got Reggie, and so it's really like it feels more like a Phantasm movie than part 2 does, in my opinion. I know Don Coscarelli really tried a part 2, but I love part 3 so much. It's really well done, very imaginative, I guess is a word to say, but check it out. Part 3 is amazing. So speaking of Phantasm, I did have to pick this up because this is a version I do not have, and I'm like that. I don't know why, but I love getting multiple copies of my favorite movie. So this is my 4th copy of the original Phantasm. I just love the MGM look. This is actually funny, it's a picture from part 4, but it is part 1 nonetheless, if you can't tell from the back. Try to make it not blurry, but I love Phantasm. Super cool to see. There's quite a bit of stuff for Phantasm. I didn't get really too much just because not just because of money, but I don't know, I figured they kind of go crazy on movies. So that was kind of the main thing I wanted to get was movies. And so next up is a movie from Good Friend, who is actually one of our distributors for our VHS tapes and DVDs, and we shared a booth with him at Houston Horror Film Festival, and it is with his movie Fish Piss, Janice.Click. It's a really fun film if you haven't seen it. It's not for everybody, to say the least. It's really about giving a fish a tug, if you know what I'm saying. Very, very artsy film. One that, if you watch it, it does leave an impact, in my opinion. It's not so much horror, as there are a lot of horror elements, but it is very strange, very strange. It feels very fever dreamish, and I think that's the goal he was going for, and I think it really works. I think it's very much in the vein of like Shay St. John, things of like the early YouTube days. Very feels bad, like you shouldn't be watching it. Like, I don't know, it just feels really, really, really good. I like the shot on video style. I love the VHS feel of it. So check out Fish Piss. Yeah, if you haven't, you are warned if you do check it out. But anyways, next up is another indie film. I can't remember the name of the booth. Vintage Club Stories. They do like found footage movies, and I was talking to the vendors there for like 30 minutes, and they just left an impression on me, and so I picked up their film. It is No Sleep. This is an anthology film. I'm really curious to check it out. I am the kind that gets motion sick from found footage and stuff, and so I will take like Dramamine and stuff just to watch them. That's how I watch the VHS movies and stuff like that. I take Dramamine to get through them, and it works most of the time. So I'll have to do that, check those out, because I'm pretty excited. They sounded really good. It sounded like some good back to the classics, like scary stuff, and I think that's what horror movies are missing sometimes, is just being scary. But speaking of scary, this next one is based on true events, which is very, very scary. This is a 2004 Helter Skelter. It's not as good as the 70s version, and I really do like the documentary style 6 Degrees of Helter Skelter. But this movie was pretty good. It starred, I forgot his name. Let's see if I got Jeremy Davies. But really cool stuff. If you know the Charles Manson story, you will enjoy that one. I myself, I do love true crime and stuff, and so I am very fascinated by it. And so that's a very fascinating watch. They do kind of bend some truths, but for the most part, everything is pretty spot on accurate. And so next up is a very classic slasher that I've been needing for a very long time in my collection. And I used to have it, but there's a transition between high school and college when I lost all of my movies. And this unfortunately was one of them, and so I'm glad to have it back, and that is the original Friday the 13th. Which is crazy because this is actually the only other Friday the 13th film I have now, next to Freddy vs. Jason, which is pretty sad. I'm sorry. I should be doing better, especially with the classics like that, but I'm trying, man. I think I just kind of get caught up because you can't see right now, but all my movies are packed away. Because I was planning on moving, but it looks like I'm going to be staying here a little bit longer, and so I'm going to be unpacking these again. But if you look through them, there's a lot more movies than just the basic classics, and so I think I kind of focus on that too much. But I'm going back. I'm backtracking. I'm getting them now. Which this one is also included in there, and that is the original Critters. Critters is one of the most one of my favorite like horde alien movies, I guess, because like there's like a whole bunch of them and kind of attempting an invasion or whatever. But I love the feel of the verse Critters. It feels very small town, very country. It always takes me back, makes me reminded of like early fall, like when school's starting and stuff. And it's just a feel-good movie, but it's one that does kind of scare you a little bit if you are ever in the spot where you're getting taken over by little foot-tall aliens. They did have really cool props there at Houston Horror. I'm kind of kicking myself now for not getting one, but they have really cool critters, and I should have got one because they're like $40, and I definitely could have. But I think I just wanted movies instead. So next up is one of the most classic movies that I can put you guys onto. A lot of people have not even seen this one. They've seen the remake, and the remake is phenomenal. But it is 13 Ghosts from William Castle. It is a much different movie than the one that came out in the early 2000s, but it is very underrated nowadays. Not many people talk about this version of 13 Ghosts. Like the front says, 13 times it thrills, 13 times it screams, 13 times of fun. It is a pretty fun movie, especially if you like black and white. I do love me some black and white. And so check that out if you haven't. I believe it's on like Tubi and stuff, but 13 Ghosts, well, I can tell you just a little bit about it. A ghoulish fright fest from William Castle. When an eccentric uncle wills a huge ramshackle house to Cyrus, his impoverished family, they get the shock of their lifetime. Their new residence comes complete with a spooky housekeeper, Elaine, plus a fortune and the buried treasure and 12 horrifying ghosts. As the terrified family soon discovers, these haunting ectoplasms include a decapitated man, a wailing lady, and flaming skeleton who are held captive in the eerie house and must find an unlucky 13th to free them. Who will be the final victim of these ghostly shenanigans? See it for yourself if you dare. So very similar, but very different if you watch the movie. I really like the modern take of the new one, but you can't beat the classic. So next up is one that I got the original to at Cult Classic, if you remember. And it was one that I love so much. Rest in peace, Donald Sutherland. That is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I really love this art design of the cover. It looks very, very, I don't know, just neat, I guess. I don't know what other word to say. It's neat. But really cool. I love Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Leonard Nimoy, Jeff Goldblum, Brooke Adams, of course, Donald Sutherland, who does pass away, rest in peace. But excited to have that. Now I have 2 of them, and now I just need Body Snatchers, the 90s version. I love that one too. So next up is one that I have not seen yet, and it's from Lucio Fulci, and it is from 1982, and that is Seven Doors of Death. At first I thought, because of the back, I'll show you in a second, it looks kind of like The Beyond a little bit, but kind of looks like cities. I don't know, it looks like it could be a multitude of Fulci movies. And so I'm not sure if it is a different title, because I know a lot of the Italian movies got different names when they were given into America. And so I'm glad to look into it, but I'm not completely sure. But I'm going to check this out very soon, just because it looks fun, it looks interesting, and I love Fulci. Next is one that I have not seen yet, and I'm still in the middle of watching the show preceding this, Twin Peaks. But this is Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me. I got this mostly for my brother because he loves Twin Peaks, and I know this definitely made him happy whenever I showed it to him. And so I'm going to check it out. I'm going to wait and catch up to it first because I don't want to be spoiled too bad. But I'm excited because I do like the feel of Twin Peaks. I like the vibes of it and everything. It is a really great film, or great show so far. Now we'll see if it's a great film. So next is another super classic film, one that is very disturbing in nature and that is very hard to watch at times, and that is Last House on the Left. Outside of Nightmare on Elm Street, this was my first exposure to Wes Craven, and I was terrified of the man. I was very, very scared of why someone would make a movie like this. But growing up and maturing in age, I began to appreciate the mystery of it, appreciate the reasoning behind it, because more than anything, that is true terror. Especially if you know the premise. I'm not going to go into details about it, but it is a very shocking film, and it is one that is of cautionary tale. It is one that makes you think and makes you be cautious about your decisions. And in the early 70s, that is unfortunately something a lot of people didn't do. And that's why we have a lot of stories about people like Ted Bundy or people like Charles Manson, Richard Ramirez. Like, that's why these people are famous, because of things like that. And so it's pretty frightening stuff. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So next up is Grave Dancers. Grave Dancers is a really great indie film that my brother and I seen on Sci-Fi in like 2007. But it is from the After Dark Horror Fest. If you don't know, it was a yearly horror fest, and they would release like the best 8 of them, the 8 films to die for, on DVD. And so like Dark Ride, there's this one, I'm trying to think, there's a lot. Tooth and Nail is a pretty good one. I have a couple more. I'd have to look through my collection, but they're really great films. I love horror fest movies, I love indie movies, and I love seeing the smaller man gain a chance at the bigger stage. And so I love those. Check out Grave Dancers for sure. Essentially, it's these people, their friend just died, and they get drunk, they dance on graves, and the graves that they danced on begin haunting them. And really well done, I think. Next up is one that I've been looking for quite a while. I got it from my friend teacher Joe. He threw it in with this shirt at a cheaper price, and it was pretty sick to have, and I'm thankful that he gave it to me, and that is The Stepfather, the original. The remake is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not as memorable, let alone as scary to me as the original Stepfather. The sequel too is very, very phenomenal, but it's very much not even a descent into madness, because he's already mad to begin with. But I think it's very much I don't know, I guess a front row glimpse at what it is to be crazy. And I love that you get to follow him more so than just like the people figuring out, like an orphan figuring out that he's not so much who he says to be. But I like that you know from the start that he's not a good guy. But very good film. Check out The Stepfather. It's on Shudder, I believe. But I love the Stepfather series. And so lastly, the last thing I have for you guys, thank you for staying with me if you have. I know it's been a long stretch. It is one that I've been looking for forever. and it is very expensive if you look it up online. And I am surprised because it's a first edition when it was first released, and it still works because I watched it already. And that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Very controversial film. A lot of people don't like it, but it isn't a bad movie. I really don't like most of the acting, but Matthew McConaughey in this movie is phenomenal. I think he's the epitome of what Psycho should be in film, and Renee Zellweger does pretty great. She's very convincing, and so I think the whole movie it's well worth watching, and it's worth having. But especially considering that I was just looking it up on eBay and it was like $40 to buy it, and I got it for less than $10. Makes me pretty happy. It makes it worth the whole trip alone, in my opinion. But I think that's just my nerdiness. But with all these movies, they all cost a pretty penny on eBay and stuff, and so pretty cool to find, and I'm pretty hyped. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys in this video, and so stay tuned. There's a lot more fun stuff coming up, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.